is commonly referred to as Torah Kohanim. In general, this Sefer discusses everything that the Kohanim had to do, were told to do in the Mishkan in the time of the Midbar, and in the Beit HaMikdash for times to come. When we look at Parshat Emor, towards the end of Sefer Vayikra, we see an interesting set of events in this Parsha. The Parsha begins, it's really split up into 4 parts. Essentially, the biggest question we have with this Parsha is, what do the 4 have in common? What was Hashem thinking when he decided to put these 4 topics in one Parsha? Why not put the things having to do with the Kohanim and the Mishkan in one Parsha, and the Chagim in a different Parsha, and the story of the Mekalel in a 3rd Parsha? Why put them all together in one Parsha? And I think that there's one common theme among the 4 topics that really explains why Hashem did this. Really, Sefer Vayikra does discuss, it is Torah Kohanim. It discusses everything the Kohanim need to do, everything, all the halachot about the Kohanim, about the Mishkan, about the Beit HaMikdash. So that explains why topics 1 and 3 belong together. But why have topic 2? Why have the topic of the Chagim right in the middle of them? What does it have to do with the Avodah and the Beit HaMikdash? Fine, they bring korbanot, but talk about that at a different time. Don't talk about that when we're talking about the Kohanim. I think the answer is that Sefer Vayikra in general seems to very exclusively deal with the Avodah of the Kohanim and deal with the Avodah and the Beit HaMikdash. So how does the Chagim, why do the Chagim fit into this? Because in Parshat Emor, Hashem is showing us, no, it's not all about the Kohanim. The Kohanim are not the only ones who can serve Hashem. The Kohanim are not the only ones who have to be tahor, who have to be pure, who have to be kadosh. They're not the only ones who serve Hashem. It's really everyone. And the Chagim are the perfect example of this. The Chagim, particularly Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, are times when all of Klal Yisrael come together to worship Hashem. We have this mitzvah of Aliyah L'Regel, where all of Klal Yisrael is commanded to go home to Eretz Yisrael, to Jerusalem, to the Beit HaMikdash, and to all serve Hashem together, to all bring a korban. And this really shows us right in the middle of the two sections of the Parsha that are specifically talking about the Kohanim. It shows us, no, it's not just about the Kohanim. It's about Klal Yisrael together. Yes, the Kohanim are the leaders in terms of Avodah Hashem. They are the ones who are working day in, day out in the Mishkan, in the Beit HaMikdash. But really, that's not what it's about. It's not about the Kohanim. The Kohanim aren't some special people that get to serve Hashem when the rest of us don't get to. They're really just our messengers. And really, what's the ikar of the avodah? It's not what the Kohanim are doing. It's when all of Klal Yisrael comes together to be Mekadesh Shem Shemayim. So that explains why the Chagim are part of this parsha. But what about the Mekalel? What does he have to do with this theme of Bnei Yisrael coming together and Avodat Hashem and Avodah Beit HaMikdash and Avodah HaMishkan? What does, in general, what does the Mekalel have to do with that? And I think the answer is shown by the placement of the story of the Mekalel in the Parsha. After discussing what true Avodat Hashem, what true Avodat HaMishkan is, the Torah then deviates and tells us exactly what it isn't. The Mekalel is someone who separates himself from the rest of Bnei Israel. The Mekalel is someone who goes out into the middle of the camp and curses Hashem. He desecrates Shem Shemayim in front of the entire community, in front of the entire congregation. So we see that the Mekalel is someone who, one, does not want to serve Hashem, does not want to be Mekadesh Shem Shemayim. He wants to do the exact opposite. He wants to desecrate Shem Shemayim. And two, is that he's separating himself from Bnei Israel, rather than focusing on Achdut within Bnei Israel and coming together to serve Hashem. He's going out of his way to be separate from the rest of the nation and to desecrate Shem Hashem. So now what happens to this Mekalel? The Pasuk tells us, V'ragmu oto kol ha'ida, that the entire congregation of Bnei Israel stones the Mekalel. Why is this the case? If you look throughout the Torah, most other sinners who are chayav mita, who deserve to be killed because of the severity of their sin, they're not killed by everyone. They go through a process with Beit Din, and Beit Din has specific people on staff and specific witnesses and specific people who are supposed to who are responsible for killing the sinner. So why is the Mekalel different? And the reason the Mekalel is different, the reason that he's stoned by each and every person within the congregation of Bnei Israel, is because he did exactly the opposite of what our mission on this world is. He desecrated Shem Shamayim as a yachid, as an individual. He separated from Bnei Israel to do exactly what Hashem doesn't want him to do, rather than coming together with Bnei Israel and doing what Hashem does want him to do, to be Mekadesh Shem Shamayim, to show Hashem's presence in this world. Really, to me, I think that this shows what Parshat Emor is all about. It really displays to us the importance of coming together to be Mekadesh Shem Shamayim, and what really happens when A, we separate ourselves, and B, when we desecrate Shem Shamayim.